Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. This Johnny Somali case is amazing. Now, I know a lot of you all are like, hey, there's legal cases here in the United States we need to talk about, Jason. I think this case is going to be far more engaging than a lot of the cases that we're looking at here in the United States. And what I mean by that is this case with Johnny Somali, if you're not familiar, Johnny Somali is a American Somali by way of America, immigrant that moved here to America who's of Somali descent. Um, he has gone abroad as what's called a nuisance streamer or in real life IRL streamer, but it's the nuisance brand of the IRL streaming. And those are the people that used to play pranks and try to cause chaos in public, so on and so forth. Not just your dancing trios or anything like that, but this is where they deliberately go out and try to start fights, pick fights, maybe even exacerbate a situation, cause chaos, or be a nuisance, public nuisance. Well, Johnny has gone over to Japan, he's gone to Israel, and now he's in South Korea. And I even believe at one point he went to Latin America, South America as well. Well, he got to South Korea, and as the meme likes to say, he messed around and found out. So he was causing all this chaos and confusion from playing loud music on subways, making terroristic threats, to being disrupting business, and just so many other things that finally the Korean police, the Korean justice system clamped down on him, and he realized that he's not in Kansas anymore. So now he's facing some pretty serious legal battles in South Korea as an American with no means of income, because his means of income was his IRL streaming. But now every time he's online, there's the police are watching him. The prosecution is watching him. So he doesn't want to do the things that were so bombastic that got him in trouble, but those are the things that got him bread. So now he's basically he's almost broke. I think it's fair to say he's going to be broke if he's not getting some kind of handout or something of that nature. But here's the super funny part is South Korea is taking away his passport and banned him from leaving the country. So no matter what, he's got to stay there. He can't run away. He can't hop on a plane or train or sneak out in a river or something, float down the river. No, this is not Shawshank Redemption. He's stuck in South Korea until his court date. Now, we're going to pull up Legal Mindset. Shout out to Legal Mindset. He's an American attorney that lives in South Korea. He works and now lives in South Korea. So he's been giving us all the scoop, all the details of what's going on. So I want to look at one of the things that has happened is he has been so insulting, so derogatory toward South Korean people and their culture that people have started taking vigilante efforts on him. So we're going to look at this young man. He is a former, I guess the equivalent Navy SEAL from South Korea, so a South Korean SEAL that is taking upon himself to do a little street justice for Mr. Johnny. So let's pull this in. Let's talk about it, and we'll watch both parts of it because there's him being what was the outcome of him interacting with Johnny. Then we're gonna look at what he was actually doing when he interacted with Johnny, and then we'll pull in Legal Mindset. So let's get this going. Let's go. Hopefully, yeah, maybe a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's go.
얘기해.
대한민국에서 앞으로 저렇게 소말리 같은 애들 진짜 처리할 거니까 앞으로 대한민국에서 지랄하지 마. 알겠지? 소말리.
오케이.
Don't mess with Korea.
소말리. 해.
여기 방을 구하는데요.
해. 유튜브. 해. You say. To. 소말리. Say something. 해. Hey.
You may or you may not have heard what happened to your son. We'll see it in a second.
아니에요. 몰라. Somali, say something. Say. Somali, say. Just say.
경찰관 밀치지 마세요.
저 아무것도 안 해요. 얘기하라는 거예요. 제.
아니다. 할 때 되면 하니까 좀 가만히 좀 있어.
Somali say something. Somali say. Say.
좋습니다. 의사소통에 지장 없고 필요할만 있는 상태입니다.
All right. So the reason I say that I think this case is going to be much bigger than some of the things we're looking at here in the United States currently. Not every case, but this one literally has involved the South Korean government involved in it. So it's not just, and it's kind of unified the government, if you will. Everybody agrees that this dude is bad business. And we'll talk about it in a moment when we go to legal mindset. But some of the now nuisance bills that are coming up, signs that are showing up on subways and in businesses saying that you can't do these type of things, don't behave in this type of way, are all because of Johnny Somali. So let's keep it going. Let's go.
Somali YouTuber gây phẫn nộ ở Hàn vì làm những hành vi phản cảm.
So I didn't want to show it, but this is the aftermath of Johnny Somali interacting with that Navy SEAL. That guy decked him and laid him out in the street. Let's go.
자, 이쪽으로 오세요. 거기.
He is like,
너.
핸드폰이에요?
네? 이거 볼 거예요.
보실 거예요? 네. 누구 모자예요? 네.
all right, and this is in Korea, you don't have the self-defense argument like you have in the United States. So if somebody were bothering me and I slug them, I could claim self-defense in the United States. Or somebody was coming at me, I could slug them and claim self-defense. They don't actually have that. So both Johnny and this gentleman are being arrested, even though most of us probably think that the guy in black, the Korean SEAL, is probably in the right. Let's go.
누구 모자예요? 네.
Wow. He busted his mouth. Remember, Johnny was the guy. Here, he's dumping out ramen in a 7-Eleven convenience store. Just this is the disruption of business. For some reason or another, this is a really big claim in Korea. You can't disrupt people's business. That's a big deal. So him pouring out the ramen, acting like a complete idiot, is a big deal, and it has come back to haunt him. And this is the comfort woman statue. We've talked about this on this show as well as others. There's statues all around Korea and abroad to commemorate the women that were brought into slavery during the Second World War by the Imperial Japanese Army. So they were taken as workers or slaves during the Second World War, and they have these statues here to commemorate them. So Johnny's over here kissing the statue, and you've seen other videos, I'm sure, of him gyrating and pouring baby oil all over the statue and stuff like that. Just mad disrespectful. So that's how and why Johnny is in so much trouble. And I think because it is going to have some international ramifications. I think Johnny's really cooked. I think he's cooked. He's cooked extra spicy. All right, let's bring in Legal Mindset. Shout out to Legal Mindset. Again, I've had him on the show. He is an excellent content creator in South Korea, making much of this case. He's really taking it on as his own personal mission to see to it that Johnny Somali is brought to justice, which I think is the right thing to do. Shout out to Legal Mindset over there in Korea. So as we see here, this is after the aftermath of our Navy SEAL. I think his name is Don Yale. I can't pronounce it. I apologize. Please forgive me. And he's Johnny Somali has met the wrong side, the action side of his fist. And you see, he knocked his hat off. Johnny's laid out on the street in the parking lot, rather. And so let's bring legal mindset in to finish this up. Let's go.
So this is him, obviously, after the incident. And then here's him as a UDT member in the military. That's essentially a SEAL. And of course, you've got Ramsey Khalid Ishmael right there. So let's turn to the article and what that said and kind of why that set people off. So right here, we've got the full article. Let's turn to that. And that is, he was up here. He faces jail time for attacking Johnny Somali, which is true. He can be potentially jailed. This is true. Under South Korean law, it's possible he could get jail time for this. Now, I'm going to read this, and then after this ends, I'm going to tell you what I am going to do. Okay? So, Korean Special Forces YouTuber faces jail time for attacking Johnny Somali. So, let me pull this up. Okay. So, a YouTuber who is part of the Korean Special Forces has been handed over to prosecutors for assaulting Johnny Somali. So, let's stop there. A lot of people misunderstand what this means. This means he's been indicted. So let's go back. For those who have been paying attention, you guys know our handy dandy chart, our handy dandy legal mindset chart, you know, which we've been developing. We've been talking about. Let's go over here to this presentation. You guys have seen this a lot, but let's present it. Right. So we know about step one. There's a criminal complaint which was submitted against him for assault. He punched Johnny Somali. That's assault. Right. That was submitted. And then the police investigated it. And the police were quick to hand this over to the prosecutor because maybe they thought the case was clear. Maybe they wanted to move on it quickly. Who knows? Right. Maybe they wanted to send a message. I don't know why the police would have forwarded it. I don't have that information. But it's at the prosecutor's desk, which means that's heading towards an indictment, which may go towards either what's called a summary proceeding or a trial. So we don't know whether he'll actually go to trial or not yet, because the prosecutors haven't decided which route it's going to go, right? Once again, some language. Charged means like there's charges against you, allegations. Indictment means the prosecutors found enough evidence to meet the legal standard, and convicted means you're guilty. He has not been convicted. Actually, it's not even clear he's been indicted yet. Let's go back to the article. It's really just a charge at this point. All right, so let's go back to this article, and that should work now. Okay, there you go. Okay, so controversial streamer Johnny Somali, real name Ramsey Khalid Ishmeal. Very important to say his real name, but also important to say this name as well, because this is what picks up in the algorithm, and this is what gets it out there is Johnny Somali. But yes, I say Ramsey Khalid Ishmeal as much as I can because he hates that name. Has become a content creator. He's become controversial because of all the wrong reasons, thanks to his troublesome globe-trotting broadcasts. He does dick around the world. He's terrorized Japan and Israel. By the way, I just got the footage of him in Israel, and I didn't realize. I actually hadn't watched the clip where he put a picture of Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, and Aiden Ross in the Wailing Wall. So he put a picture of Weinstein, Epstein, and Aiden Ross in the Wailing Wall. Super offensive. That actually got him banned from Kick. Extraordinarily offensive. So going forward from that, he came to Korea. And he got the attention of everybody by kissing the Statue of Peace, a monument to victims of sexual slavery by Japanese troops during World War II, aka the Comfort Women, right? Or known as the Comfort Women. Right. So he kissed them. He actually put baby oil on them. He did a dance, right? Disgusting, like actually vile, right? And disgusting and horrible, like really disgusting behavior. So that's, obviously everyone was mad about that, right? So YouTuber Dalgun, a former UDT, which is their version of a SEAL, right? Took matters into his own hands. So he found him. And you're going to hear in our interview when that comes out sometime next week, probably, you're going to hear his account on how he found him. And it's a very interesting account. and he ended up punching him right in front of police, right? And that's the Origa account over here. You can kind of see that go down right there. Unfortunately for him, the case against him is going forward. So, as reported by Korean Jung-an Daily, Dalgun was handed over to the Eastern District Prosecutor's Office. Now, understand, and I'm going to explain this in a future stream. Seoul is a massive city. Most of the population of Korea is in Seoul. There are several prosecutors' offices. So one office is in the west, one office is central, there's there's eastern, there's northern, there's southern. So there's all sorts of different offices to bring charges. So this happened around the Jamshil area, which is near Lotte World area. And so it's in the eastern office. The incident with the 7-Eleven that Johnny is in trouble with happened in Hongdae, which is in the western area. So it's in the western office. Those are handled in different areas, right? Oh, Dalgun is in the chat here. He's in the chat. Origa. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. And it's good to meet you today. Origa. So they're handled in different areas. Now, let me be very clear. A lot of people think he is arrested, okay? And he is detained by police. Dalgun is not detained by police today, okay? How was he in a cafe with me today if he's arrested by police? He's clearly not arrested by police, right? He's clearly free to roam about. He's not in bars. He's not in handcuffs. He's just hanging out with me, right? We're doing our interview here. That's a photo from our interview, right? He has no reason to flee. He's not a threat, right? Really to any. So he's not in jail. Like, he's not locked up. He doesn't have handcuffs on. He doesn't have anything on. So a lot of people are saying he's locked up. He's not. Like, that's false information. So please, if you see somebody saying that he's under arrest, like he's in jail, he's not. Please be very clear about that. Please make sure you correct people when they say that. That's the most common misinformation that's happening right now. And that's complete misinformation. It's complete false news. Like, he's free to meet up. In fact, I hope I meet him again, and I know I'll see him the week before Christmas, right? I will see him the week before Christmas, right? Johnny Somali is facing a mountain of legal issues. He has a trial already been charged with obstruction of business, which will be going to trial in December. That's thanks to me, and I'm going to talk about the this information getting out there, the date. Additionally, faces a bunch of charges, including violating anti-terrorism law, using AI with a fake streamer girlfriend, broadcasting North Korean propaganda. According to lawyer Legal Mindset, additional charges are scheduled to be filed by early December. Yes. So Somali could be looking at long time in jail, depending on the court proceedings play out. Yes. And that's like, I want to put an asterisk here. Like, it's depending on how it plays out and how the prosecutors want to do this. If the prosecutors and the judge does this right, we could see significant jail time. If they don't do it right, then not, right? So the ball is in their court to do this right. And I certainly hope he gets time, at least a year, at minimum, right? Let's get this guy in there, at least a year of jail time. Come on. Like, let's make this happen. We can make this happen. Ishmael has remained confident that he will be able to return to the U.S. and avoid jail time, but with so many potential charges looming, that's looking less and less likely. It's not going to happen. So, and he's also refused to do interviews. I don't think he'll be doing any interviews with like any major media outlets or whatever. I know CNN said they reached out to him. I doubt he's going to do anything. And even if he did, like, that'll probably dig him in deeper because that can be used against him in court. So, okay. What am I going to do with the case of Dalgun? Well, Dalgun's case is in a separate district from Johnny's. Johnny's in the west. He's in the east. They're also separate. They're not tried together. So Johnny, his guilt or innocence has nothing to do with the case of Dalgun. It's a separate case. Now, Johnny might show up as a witness in Dalgun's case, but he wouldn't be guilty for anything in Dalgun's case. He's guilty in his own case. Like, so Johnny and his guilt or innocence is tried separately from Dalgun. So with Dalgun, what I want to do is I want to try to intervene, and I will be doing this. I want to try to intervene. Now, I want to be very clear about this. This is not me filing a new lawsuit. So this is not me like opening a lawsuit or litigation. This is me assisting in the current process. You can do this, right? And provide what's called mitigating evidence. So there's two words you got to understand: mitigation and aggregation, or aggravating, right? So mitigation means you're making something less. Aggravating means you're making it more. So my intention is to try to mitigate, to make less any sort of punishment or any sort of action against Dalgunis. Can we get a Dalgun emote for the chat to illustrate a Giga Chat? I'll talk with him. Maybe he has like a little one, or he can send me his little emoji of his face, and we can get that there as an emote. That might be cool. That might be cool. Not an FBI says, poor Johnny going mad without social media. How long before he paints his face on a cabbage and makes his own Wilson? That would be hilarious. Can someone please make that meme of Johnny Somali with like, it's like Wilson, but a cabbage? Please make that meme. Please make that meme and send that to me. Nathan C says, does Johnny Somali have a protective order against Dalgun? As far as I'm aware, no, he does not. He may have one against another streamer called Jungman. But as far as I'm aware, he does not have one against Dalgun. So that's my knowledge. So once again, I don't claim to be perfect or know everything, but to my knowledge, no. JLP says, for Slimeball, how much jail time do you think he will really face? I don't want to make this. I talked about this on a friend's channel. I don't want to make a guess right now. I'm telling you as we go. So right now he's facing up to 5. So his maximum is 5. I don't think for this one charge, for the one, I don't think he's getting 5. Could he get 1? Yes. Could he get 2? Yes. 3? Possible. Right? Don't think he's getting 5. Dear World Christian said, get the likes up. This is so interesting. Legal Minds. Thanks for your time. My pleasure. My pleasure. And then Mercenary said, morning, going to work. Keep doing God's work. I intend to. I ain't stopping. So in this case, obviously I'm going to intervene. And what I want to enter into evidence is I want to enter into evidence provocation. Now, understand, under Korean law, there's no self-defense. Okay. And obviously this is not a situation that I would, even in the US, I wouldn't invoke self-defense, but provocation can be a mitigating factor. So Johnny saying, come get me, come at me, bro, come find me, come get some of this. Johnny talking tough is provocation. Johnny committing these acts and taunting the Korean people is provocation, right? So I want to present that evidence, right, before the court and say, hey, look, even if this is true, these are mitigating factors, right? So there's about proving whether the crime happened or not, and that's not for me to deal with. That's for the public defender. But to present evidence that here, the court may not know about this. And guys, understand, we know about this stuff, but it's not 100% that the court knows. Unless I submit the evidence or somebody else submits the evidence, it's not a shoo-in that the court knows. Don't assume that the judge knows about Johnny Somali. Some judges do, some judges don't. But you can't make assumptions when it comes to this. You need to take, with Johnny Somali, am taking no corners cut. I am making sure that everybody is fully briefed and has a fucking dossier on this motherfucker, Johnny Somali. And some people come at me for cursing, but if anybody deserves to be called a motherfucker, it's Johnny Somali, right? And I'm going to sleep well at night cursing at Johnny Somali. I have no scruples about that, right? I'm going to be able to sleep well at night. But that said, I want to make sure they know about this guy and they know that how bad he was and is, etc. So I want to make sure they know, the prosecutor, the judge, they have all the evidence, just to make sure. It's not going to hurt to submit it. Even if they do know, it's not going to hurt to submit it. And maybe I have some videos they haven't seen.
So that's Legal Mindset. Shout out to Legal Mindset. He's been doing a yeoman's job at bringing light to this. He's taking it on as his own personal crusade, and I'm praying that he is successful. So shout out to him. I just wanted you to see some of the craziness that's swirling around with him. And I think, again, we're going to see a lot more of this case. And you'll find it pretty interesting because, again, there's just so many little nuances you know, the American Somali that goes to South Korea to cause chaos and confusion and gets clamped down, and he's thinking that America's going to rescue him or that the president's going to intervene, and none of that's going to happen. He's going to face jail time. And the whole thing about cabbage, in South Korea, they actually have forced labor. And one of the forced labors is that you actually harvest cabbage. And apparently this is a big deal. And because of that, most people are pretty certain that Johnny Somali is going to be a cabbage farmer. So that's why that's what the cabbage jokes are about. But let me know what you think. If you like this, let me know down in the comments. If you don't like it, let me know as well. I look forward to hearing from you then. And until then, everybody, grace and peace. We're out.